I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Start with roll call.
Larry Oskowski, Donna Mosier, Eileen Dunn,
Here.
Rick Agler,
Here.
Brenda Owens,
Here.
Barry Burgess,
Here.
Lemaine Nyford,
Here.
Ed Weiner.
Here. Okay, everybody here today? Proof of notice. Guess I have to ask you that, Jen.
Yes, it was duly posted 48 hours prior to the meeting.
Okay, good. Disposition of prior meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, treasurer's report.
Yes, I've submitted it in writing. There is one figure that's missing. You can add it up yourself, but I'll tell you where it says total for the current month, which the figures are as of August 31st. It adds up where it says total right there in the middle. There's a blank spot, $688,177, and I believe it's 19 cents. 79 cents. Thank you, Deborah.
688.
$688,177.79.
Good.
All right. And the other figure that you might want to know that's not on that report is down at the very bottom where it's delinquents, the total of all the delinquents counts. You don't have last month there. And that figure is $79,307.96 compared to end of August. It's $122,784.61, which is there. Now you may wonder why the big difference. I did too. And why the big difference is we are on a fiscal year and everybody gets a bill. And some of them fail to pay it before the end of June. So those that have failed to pay it, the current people, who usually most of them all do pay it. It's not an item to be concerned. It happens every year that way. All right, in addition to that, the good news, which I know this is a board meeting, but the board all knows, everybody smile here on the board, Ed's smiling, I am too. We have an addition of $433,100 given to us or by contractor. And we have it, it's in the bank, it shows up. Deb and I checked to make sure the balances were right, and it's there. So we have it, it's ours. Now, later on, you'll see under unfinished business, it says review of payments and accounting options, and we will discuss more about that later. Where'd it come from? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought everybody knew. That came from the contract, which was negotiated between Spectrum and us. And the basic rules of the contract are, we do not agree for 10 years to go specifically with any other TV company or distributor. We just stay the way we are. Okay? Correct? Yep. Thank you.
Okay, a motion would be in order to approve the treasurer's report. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Question,
Opposed? Question?
yeah, are we still with the old lawyers for our delinquencies?
I think, I don't know how old they are, but
We had the two lawyers for Deed restriction.
Yeah, we haven't changed that. A change would have to come here through the board. You haven't seen any changes. We're still with them.
In other words, it hasn't completely turned over. The one, well, from,
lawyer.
what they did was, if they had a case in process. All right. If they had a case in process, it would continue with the old lawyers, and then the new ones would go to the new lawyers. Right. But
Hired last.
that hasn't.
There's
not
still some in
completed. They're still
process.
working on
You know,
what
you're
they
gonna
have.
have some of those drag on.
Thank you.
A comment since I was brought up is that the big increase, I said, has nothing to do with things going to the lawyers. That's just a temporary bulge that happens at the, this is the beginning of the year for our fiscal year, July 1st. And the first month or two, people are catching up. Some people forget until they come down here to pay, and unfortunately they pay a small penalty like that, but that's normal. The stuff, we do have some big things. Deb and I reviewed some of these items, and there's some big accounts that will be there for a long time because they're dealing with bank owns a building, and our things are against it. Okay, I won't get into detail. Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll move on to the manager report. Yeah. Okay, John isn't here due to illness, and so I'll read his report. Bob Huggenschmidt has been contracted for engineering and related services with the seawall project and is proceeding accordingly. A contract has been executed with G.A. Nichols in the amount of $23,200 for the installation of a new seawall. A second contract has been executed with Stable Soils for foam injection of the existing wall in the amount of $42,500. Both of these projects are expected to be completed later in the year. Bob Huggenschmidt, he's our engineer, has been contracted for engineering and related services with the pool deck drainage project and is proceeding accordingly. Contract has been executed with G.A. Nichols in the amount of $96,887. This work should be completed in early October. And I believe that is completed at this. An access agreement has been signed with Spectrum in the amount of $443,100. Contract and payment has been received. Maintenance staff has been focused on painting on the interior of the clubhouse. All interior surface painting of clubhouse should be completed in early October. One new treadmill has been ordered and a proposal has been received from First Place Fitness. Violations for the month are as follows: total 185 new ones, 111 resolved 91. That's the manager's report.
I'm just stuff later.
Okay,
Look in there.
next on the agenda is the Art Committee.
Good afternoon. This is Ed Heber for the Art Committee. We have 18 that have meet the requirements for your approval, and one is for review by the board.
I make a motion that we recommend the 18 put up by the Architectural Review Committee for approval.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, what's the one that we need to discuss?
The one that's needed to be discussed is 8041 Casuarina Drive. This was put in by the woman who lives there. She was already sent violations through the violation works. And I don't know why she put it in, if she thought
that by putting this in, this is to the ones with the fruit trees and all the trees and growth on her property. So she sent pictures in. And if anything, it looks like she added more, that was turned down. Well, it was given to us for consideration, but it's totally against all the rules that we have for our.
Ed, are they allowed to put it along their fruit trees along the utility lines? I thought they weren't supposed to be putting trees and that along the easement.
Donna?
That is some of the difficulties we have with it. That's some of the difficulties that is in this review for you, because some of the trees there that are listed, we don't know what they are. It doesn't on lot lengths, it's bushes, not trees. If you have trees, then you have to find out what the lot line is. That would be done by a survey.
Donna?
I believe our rules stipulate that if they, oh, sorry. I believe that our rules stipulate that the trees have to be on the side of the house and in the back.
Well, we allow, I think, two on the side and two in the back.
Now, that's for fruit trees, yes.
Fruit trees,
Yes.
right.
Two on the side and two in the back.
I don't see, I'll be honest with you, I don't see a reason for us to waste time discussing this since this has already been gone over by the board and the violation was sent. So we've already discussed this, why she put this in. I don't know. Yeah, let's, you make a second.
All in favors?
Aye. He's,
Which on this down, right?
Okay. Thank you, Ed. Okay, inspection criteria. Jerry presented this last month and he's not here. I think we'll table that until next month.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, fitness room.
Good afternoon. My name is Stan Hemphill, and I'll be making the presentation for the committee report on gym refurbishment. When we first met as a committee, we had to make a decision about how we're going to go about this process. It's a very large world of machines out there, and there are very many dealers involved in selling these machines. So we came up with a simple mission statement. That was our first ideal, and that is to accommodate all residents of Timber Oaks who now utilize the gym, or for those who have left our gym due to lack of equipment or irreparable equipment, so that all residents can enjoy our facility. Now, there's some subtopics on that as well. The first thing that we wanted to do is look at the needs of all the people. We didn't want to take just the people that are in rehab. We didn't want to take the people that are serious workout people. We want to take a broad spectrum of all the people so that we can service all the needs of the Timber Oaks Association. I already mentioned a little bit about people that left the gym. We know for a fact that there are people that have left our gym for one reason or the other. They pay $15 or so a month at another gym. It's $180 a year. The way we look at it is if we refurbish our gym, put in new equipment, have a grand reopening and bring those people back in, that would be a great advantage for Timber Oaks to save them $180, and we can give them a private gym to work out in rather than a public gym, which of course, a lot of people don't like to do that because there's a bunch of studs there pumping iron. That's not really our thing. We wanted to recommend the purchase of only commercial grade machines. In the past, I don't know what all has been history-wise in our gym room, but we feel that commercial grade machines are the only way to go. They will be more serviceable, they will last longer, they're made better. The big thing about our whole committee is purchasing safe equipment. We have people here that we don't want to get them hurt getting on the machine. We don't want them to hurt themselves getting off this machine. We want them to be safe while they're operating the machines. Delivery time is a big thing. We don't want to extend this out for 6 months or a year. So we wanted a company that would give us a reasonable delivery time. We're talking about 6 to 8 weeks. We wanted to recommend a company that is local. There are a few reasons for that. The first being, we're more important to them because we're a big account in their area. We interviewed companies from Jacksonville. We interviewed companies from Tampa, and representatives came in, made presentations to us, and they were voluminous, I can tell you. And what we found out is that we didn't feel like they could really service our account very well. So what we decided that we had to have a dealer that was within 50 miles of us. That's a reasonable amount of period. They can get up here within an hour or so and are close enough where they can service us as an account. We wanted to recommend machines that were comparable, one dealer to the next. What you find out is there are all grades of machines. They go from residential machines to high-grade commercial. We wanted to compare apples to apples, oranges and oranges. In our proposal, we have done that. We want to recommend machines that really represent the overall value to Timber Oaks. There are some machines that may be a little cheaper. There are some machines that may be a lot more expensive. We found the range to be in our proposals, and there were, I think, 7 total proposals, different proposals. They range from $20,000 to $29,000. We looked at Bandit Fitness, FitRev, and First Place Fitness. Those are the 3 that we actually spoke with. After we decided all these things on the committee, we wanted to look at the, I don't know what you call this, but we hung this on the gym wall in May of 22 to get and draw comments on what people wanted in the gym. We distilled this down as well, and we found that basically there are 3 things that are very important for most all people. One is a treadmill. Number 2 is the elliptical machine. And number 3 is the stationary bicycle. The other machines are great, but there are fewer people that use those, but they're just as important to them. And those are machines like an ab machine, a leg press machine, a cable crossover machine. Those are the things that would take the place of our old big universal gym. So that's basically what we did as a committee, and kind of like to take a break here and recognize the committee before I finish up. I want to let you know that Dave Teller, if you stand please, has been our chairman. He's done a great job. George Wooten is a very wise man, and he's given us a lot of information and a lot of good advice. And Brian Champagne is the man that's done all the back and forth. And he's a great detail man. To sum it all up, we chose Bandit Fitness of Largo, Florida. The reasons why we did, number 1, they're local. They're 20 miles from us. Number 2, they already service our account in the gym now. They fixed our machines the last few times, and they fixed them successfully. They already have a relationship with us. They assure 6 to 8 weeks time delivery. When the machines come in, they will all be put in at the same time. All the old machines, exclusive of one of the bikes, and the weights, the actual weights, will all be taken out by them and disposed of, and all the machines put in the next day. So it's a 2-day deal for them. We have gotten along very well with their representative. He's worked with us. He's made this recommendation to us so that we could make it to you, and it all really made sense. So what we'll have is we'll have 2 treadmills, 2 bikes, 2 ellipticals, and then 1 of each of the other machines. And the board, I've given you a packet with all that information on it. We have seen that Bandit just really meets the needs all the way around, including warranties. We've talked at length about getting a contract, and we have found that the way to go is to let Bandit service our account like they have been doing, and we think we can do it cheaper without a contract. That basically is our proposal. I'll leave that up to the board. You all have packets. Any questions, we'd be more than happy to entertain them. Yes, Ms. Downs.
I have a couple of questions for you. On those free weights, you have 2-pounders in there for the ladies?
We have 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pounds,
Okay.
5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, 25 pounds, 30 pounds, 35
Okay.
pounds, 45.
I
and
just
50
wanted to
pounds.
know if we cover the
We have a
women,
complete set. Yes, ma'am.
and I'm not done.
I didn't mean to be.
No, I'm
specific.
talking to my.
Yeah. I just want to let you know that we have a full set of.
I did not see replacement because initially, there was replacement of the, not the carpet, the mat in there.
Yes.
What
we-
was the feeling about that?
Well, the feeling on that is Dave discovered that those mats are, you flip them. Underneath, they're brand new. They do have some glue residue from a prior carpet application. So we would have to clean that off. But at the time which they deliver the machines, take the old ones out, we can flip the floor, make it a brand new floor.
So
What costs
you can
anything?
just flip those over.
Exactly.
Not
Costs
only
us
that,
labor and a little bit of work.
So there's no need to replace the.
No, because the floor was gonna be $7,000. That's crazy. We don't
I
need
know.
that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
the other thing we
Yes.
talked about was that possibly with the removal of that glue that was left down there, some of the aromas in the fitness center could disappear. We're hoping.
Yeah,
When they brought the equipment last time, they were in a big rush. They tore up the carpet and they didn't fix the subsurface.
They didn't take the glue off.
Right. And I
That's
think
one of the
that
big
may be a
problems
problem.
right there.
Mr. Ivory, you had a question?
Yes, I did. How much is it?
27,000.
27,300 and,
that
in this group of papers?
Yes.
yes, sir. It's all there.
Okay, what I'm,
Send the first.
my point is, I have a fiduciary responsibility.
Okay, I understand.
I just received these maybe 5 or 10 minutes prior to this meeting. I just received this about 5 to 10 minutes before this meeting.
Okay.
And I cannot do my fiduciary duty in that short of time, and yet I feel there was a rush to be on
No, I'm
this.
not asking, I'm not.
I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying, I hope you don't expect us to vote today on this.
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you.
But to let you know, we did make a presentation to the president and the vice president earlier. And, you know, we felt that it was better to give them that, and then they would pass on the information to you, and the packet would, answer any further questions.
Yeah,
But I
I think that
addressed-
meeting was about,
Rick, I would like to
15 minutes.
address this.
Yes, it was.
we were talking.
We had actually thought that we would have all of us there, but you told us we could not because we cannot have that many people at a meeting. So
That's
the only
correct.
way to do it was, Ed and I were already here. We went in and listened to the procedure. As far as it being a surprise, we have been talking about fitness center and getting this gym in order and getting equipment for our residents for months now. We did not have the money. We have the money now.
May 22, we put up.
Yeah, in May, and it is now October. So as far as whether they decide that we vote today, that all depends on what we decide up here. This is our motion, so.
We're
And
just the
I
committee.
was the one who asked Dave to try and get this together because we now have the money and we've put this off long enough. It has, and it will take 6 to 8 weeks once we approve it and they order 6 to 8 weeks before it comes in.
Do you think I can do my fiduciary responsibility
I
to this
don't-
community? I'm talking now, Lemaine, please. To my fiduciary responsibility to this community to say I vote on this without reading it. I really don't think that can be done. Whether we can do a vote later on between the meetings, we've done things that way or something, but I just want to explain to you why it just probably.
No, I'm not asking for a decision right
No,
on the
you're
spot.
not. You're very upfront with us and you've given us, I think, probably a great report of what I've seen. I'm just saying, there's a little problem with timing here. There used to be a rule, you had to submit it within 3 days prior to a meeting that you. Okay, it used to be, I don't think it's current, but at this time, not. Okay, I relinquish my thing. Thank you.
Okay, Rick, do you think you could come up with an agreement in a week after going over everything? Because I would like to make a motion to give this a week, to give Rick a chance to look through everything as far as finances, and then we would have a private meeting to go ahead and vote to.
We
get it
could
taken
just
care of.
sign a paper.
And if we have to-
Objection, point of order. Why is she only saying that Rick has to review it? I think every member of the directors has to review it. Thank you.
That's true.
If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to.
Find out.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Brenda.
Right. Okay.
Did you make a motion or?
Yes,
You're making.
I was
Did we-
making a motion to let's give you a week to look through everything and all of us
So a
approve.
week.
All of us sitting and giving an approval.
I'll second for discussion purposes. I would like to finish.
I don't think, it's not just Rick. I mean, I like to get my stuff ahead of time.
We corrected that. Okay,
Okay.
Brenda.
I also received this just before the meeting, but as he was making his presentation, I was following through. It's just what he has said. The other stuff is mostly pictures, so we could go through it right now. It would take 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, no disrespect to you guys. It's nice that you put this together for us. My other question is, I only see this stuff for Bandit. What about the information from the other companies?
Ms. Dunn, we have about 50 pages of
I can show
material,
it to
and
you.
we'd be glad to give that to you, and you can peruse it. But this is
Yeah, I
our
would like to see the
distillation.
comparison between the companies
That's why
because.
That's why I wanted to have a little meeting beforehand, so we can.
If you use a mic,
Yeah, this is why we wanted to have a little meeting beforehand, so that way you would see the other proposals that we got. We've been working on this ever since you guys told us to go check it out. And we do I have them right here, of the other ones, and the one that John got, that you guys have already seen, and a lot of that was duplicates, stuff that we really didn't think that was necessary. And I went through it, and like I said, these guys, we all worked together, all of us, and figured out what to be the best thing for 55 and over age that people would use in the gym. Now, it's up to you guys, of course, to vote on this, I agree. But like, again, we took a lot of hours. I'm sorry if I didn't get this to you earlier, I didn't know. This is all new to me. First committee I've ever been on since I've been at Timber Oaks. When I went for J&J, I was on a lot of committees, and I know how that works. But anyway, if I had known ahead of time, I would have went to each one of you and gave you a copy of it 2 days ago, if that was the case. I'm sorry.
usually we have the information on the 3 bids in our packets. And
We'll be glad
I'm
to
just
provide you
asking
that
if-
information.
if you could get me that.
Absolutely. We've
Additional
got a packet
information.
of that. Yes, ma'am. We have that.
Thank you.
Anything else for me? Any other questions? We appreciate very much your attention and your attention to the Timber Oaks Gym. I think that's a great move.
I'd like to thank the committee for their report and all the work that they did. Great job.
We have a motion on the floor to wait a week for this, which is not an unbearable amount, but I don't know what kind of perusing or what you're going to do that is any more diligent than what these gentlemen have done. I've been in contact with them whenever. I have my mic. Is it not working?
Yes.
Usually people, there we go. Usually people don't have a problem hearing me. Anyway, I've worked off and on, I've met off and on with these gentlemen individually or just seeing them or whatever. There is no type of diligence stronger than what they have already done. The committee was picked for that reason. We have put this off for months. I think a week isn't gonna make a difference. I wish we could just do it today and get this done.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Wait a week. I'll call for the vote. Okay, address the motion.
LeMay, I'm sure that we're probably going to end up the same because I've got a lot of respect for this committee and what they've been doing. By the same token, I've been given 22 pages just prior to the meeting I was told there was a meeting prior and I said, we can't have everybody there. And everybody agreed with that. And I came in about 15, 20 minutes early and I couldn't find the committee meeting. But I think we need that and responsibility to review that. I don't care whether it's 2 days or a week. I don't think it should be very long to prove it. So I don't think we're in conflict here, but you can't pass the responsibility of what we do off to others or on a committee. Okay, thank you.
Eileen,
I would agree with Rick, and I think that we have a responsibility, and I think we owe it to the committee to take a good look at this. They put a lot of work into it. I don't think we should just flip the pages and then take a vote. I know that time is the essence, but we can do that. There's another way to vote on this before next meeting.
Well, we sort of all felt like there was a sense of urgency because if we could get it passed, by January, we'd have a new gym. That was the goal. That was what we were all thinking that, and like he said, if we have a grand reopening, that the gentleman will come in and show everyone what to do. We can make a big deal about it and invite people here, and let them know we have a new gym. So that was the idea. We were hoping we'd get it to you today. So when it's approved by January 1st, we'll have a new gym, basically.
Donna?
If it will help in rescinding this in any way, if we need to shorten the time from a week, a couple of days, whatever, I'm fine with that.
I got one more thing I'd like to say. Also, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. That way they'll know. If we have a 3D on video, how he designed the gym so everything would fit good and safely in the gym. So if you want to see that, he'd be more than happy to show it to you. That's all I got.
Karen?
Okay, this has nothing to do with the timeline, but it was based on an article that I just read recently, and they had done a study. And I missed the part about the strength training machine, if they were totally getting rid of those. But one of the things this article talked about was that in the study, they realized that strength training is more important as somebody ages. And they said, even after the age of 85, it becomes even more important. So I would like to say that if you didn't include one of those home gym things, whatever it is you call it, that I would like to see either that one kept or one put in. So just based on, and this is new information to me too, but the cardio isn't the only thing that our seniors are supposed to be doing to stay healthy.
Here's a copy. You like to look at it? If anybody else would like to look at it?
Yeah, everything.
The thing that really took a lot of time was creating a gym which nobody's going to be happy with, because you have some people who are in rehab and need very gentle machines and very adjustable. And you've got the other hardcore people who want to go in there and rip muscle. And so what we did is to try to create a gym that will service everybody. And so when you're looking at the equipment, a lot of the finesse in it is the fact that it is adjustable. And of course, that's not going to show up in the pictures that you see. And so that's sort of been the philosophy about it. And you're right about the weight training, and weight training is available in several different forms with the machines that we put together.
Thank you.
This gym here was never designed to be a rehab facility, okay? I mean, you have your doctors, you do have that with your insurance companies. You can utilize this, obviously, to exercise after you recover. And we also have the pool, which is probably the best thing for most people after rehab. That's all I want to say. And
Call for the vote. All in favor of 1 week? You want to change it to 2 days?
Yes, let me change it to 2 days.
Okay, all in favor of 2 days per perusal of the documents, and there'll be a sign-off sheet in the office.
I'm just not sure what I'm voting on here. I would vote, thank you. I'm not sure, a point of order, because I'm not sure what we're voting on here. Are we voting to amend the motion from a week to 2 days? If so, I vote yes. If we're voting on the whole motion, including on 2 days.
Yes.
Yes. So what are we
All in
voting on?
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, committee reports. So, Liz?
Liz Goodnow finds and suspension. We had a hearing on 10/12 for all the violations that you had approved the board meeting prior to that. All violations, with the exception of one, were enforced. One was not enforced. It was the trash, the cans, outside, visible. And they had done that. They had corrected that. They had come to the meeting. And that's it. Most of them were lawn and landscaping.
Okay. Thank you, Liz. Have a report from the library committee. Debbie Parini, is she here? Okay, this is what she turned in. This past year, we have lost 3 committee members. I would like to request that you approve a new member, Lee Delph, of 10612 Salamanca Drive, to join our committee in order to continue our quest for the maintenance of our library.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Orientation Committee. Pat Walzunas. Is she here?
President.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm the liaison to the orientation committee, and she had talked to me. The orientation committee is down to 2 people. The one appointed by Kimber Oaks, which is Lois, doing a very nice job, and Pat Wanzunas. I am just the representative from the
Well, Lois
Thank you.
is a representative of Live Oak.
Live Oaks. Well, but it's still part of the committee. But the, anyway, the committee needs more people, and we have a name of a person. I request that Jennifer Smiley be appointed as a committee member, and I ask you to do it this meeting if we could. Thank you.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carried. Good. Look, did Patty have one in there? Okay, Patty?
I saved a tree. Patty French, Wiselook 7024-13A06 for the Emergency Response Committee. We would just like to thank the manager and his wonderful staff, and also the board, for making a timely decision once the committee had decided to notify the manager that we should begin shuttering closing down the clubhouse if needed with the approaching storm. it was, when Ron and I got back from vacation, it was nice to see that most of the work had been done. In the past, other boards have refused to pull that trigger when they had to. And we've been in here pulling furniture up on the stage, knee deep in water, with residents in the clubhouse. So it was really comforting to find out that you guys had really taken steps to protect the clubhouse and all the residents. Thank you.
As the board's representative to that committee, they did a great job, and John and the staff did an excellent job and anticipated and did everything.
Okay. Engineering services, we have a update on seawall and drainage projects. And I would like to postpone that until John's back. We have a copy of it, but I don't think we need to make any motions or anything on it at this time.
Where is the seawall?
The seawall that they're replacing is out here between the gazebo and Billy's property. Yeah, the first property there.
Thank you.
And then on the other part of the seawall is where they'll be doing the foam injection. So to fill the voids that are behind it.
So there's no time limit on their proposal? 30 days or something?
I think these were all, the next two steps are not set to be done until later in the year. The first one where the seawall goes from the gazebo over has been changed a little to, the big mound of dirt that's sitting over there. If you go over there, you'll see it. That needs to be removed so drainage does not go onto the first property out there. And also some of it needs to be adjusted so that it can go down, so that it can drain into the lake better. And those things had to be there was a little more cost to that. It had not been figured in. So that's why it has to be changed.
And we also have a issue with a county drain over there, and we're trying to get the county involved.
But they're
Hopefully they'll
busy.
help pay for some of them.
It's there. But they've been busy.
We'll just table that for the rest of it.
Do we need to make a motion?
Yes.
I make a motion that we table the engineering services until the next meeting. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, review of payment and accounting option.
Okay. As we announced at the beginning of the meeting, we received an amount of $443,100 from Spectrum. Okay, I move to deposit this amount that was received August 11th, 2022, or contract executed, based upon the recommendations of our management, that we create a separate general ledger code and an expense and line item for this item. We follow the directions by the auditor and tax professionals for the tax payment as to how to set up the accounts. I'd like to get that permission from the board. I so move. Sorry, we need a second.
Second.
Brenda said.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Okay, now along,
Opposed? Okay, carried.
okay, secondly, in this, it's been the indication that the management feels that we should be, well, I'll read the proposed motion that was given to me, then modified and back and forth a little bit. Anyway, I move to make payment for the G.A. Nichols contract, amount of $29,200, and the Stable Soils let me finish the motion. Stable Soils of Florida, Inc. contract of $42,500 for the seawall installation and foam injection will be paid from, first of all, what can be paid out of the seawall, the account 25088, seawall repairs, and currently with a budget allowance of $150,000.
Rick, we postponed. So we don't have the 29,000.
Well, you don't pay it till it's due anyway, if it's.
Just,
All right.
just propose that we take it out of that.
Well,
account, and then
Without the amount.
I propose that we take it out of the accounts indicated.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Let me just,
Debbie, did you get all that?
yeah, she's got it. Let me just quickly sum that up a little. We're taking the reserves first, and what can't get out of the reserves will come out of this new. Okay, secondly, and again, this will apply the same. I move that we make payment. I don't know what GA is for GA Nicholas. I guess it's part of his contract. When due, the amount of $96,877 plus an additional payment of $3,620 for the drainage installation work still there. Come from the pool area reserves 25091 for drainage facility.
Second.
And and the balance would be paid from the Spectrum proceeds. Okay.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. One more?
Well, other information under the same accounting, so people realize what it is. There is a little discussion going on. There was a hint, not from me, that this could be spread out tax-wise over 10 years. I'm not sure of that, okay? And I've questioned it. I said, we got to go to the tax authorities because we've got all the money now. But just to tell you, part of what's going in here, that the current tax rate under this political system that's currently involved is 21%. That was set up by the prior political system that was in power. And the one before that, up prior to 2018, corporate tax rate was 35%. That's a significant difference when you start talking about $400 and some thousand. Now, there's a danger that the political party that's involved now has indicated that they want to raise the tax rates. So considering to push it into future years may not be advantageous. This is taking more study. It's going on. I do not have any of my licenses as a CPA nor as an attorney. Pushing the questions out to those who, okay, but just so you know what's going on there, because I've heard about that. But if we paid it all at once, the tax would be $93,051. Okay, just so you understand, or you spread that divided by 10. But I'm not sure that's legal that we can do. Here's one more. That's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay,
That's not.
that wasn't.
You voted.
We did. Yep. Okay, new business, fines and suspensions.
First one, I make a motion to fine the owner of 8819 Woodmont Lane, $50 per day for lawn and landscaping that is in violation of the Toxis covenants up to $5,000.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I make a motion to fine the owner of 10948 Pepper Tree Lane, $50 per day for lawn and landscaping that is in violation of Toxis covenants up to $5,000.
All in favor, say aye.
I'd like to discuss.
Discussion?
Yes, sir. I'm looking at the photo. What item are we discussing? Are we talking about the cement blocks lining around? Or about the lack of grass and stone put in? Is that the items that we're talking about in this?
This was sent to us by, I believe this is in Driftwood, is that right, Barry?
Yes, it is.
And I believe looking at the photo, which is the only thing we have to go by, the cinder blocks lining the front, half stone, half weeds, half nothing. And the lawn that you can see is up about 12 inches throughout. I think it's a combination of both. At this point, it has gone through 3 mailings and nothing's been fixed, so.
Okay, I can't see it on the grass. That's what my question. Thank you.
Look by the trees. I think I've gotten a little better at this.
I'm good.
Because we've been doing this. You have to kind of look at the trees and everything around it to see how high the grass is. But I will say this, and
There's a whole list.
Ed and I get together once a week and we go over all of the letters, the violation letters that go out to Timber Oaks. And I've become pretty good at putting arrows on things so people are aware of exactly what is in violation. And I think maybe we need to do that with some of these because it is confusing. So maybe we can talk about that. It might be a big help.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we find 10948 Pepper Tree Lane. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to fund the owner of 8019 San Bernardino Drive $50 per day for maintenance that is in violation of Toxis covenants up to $5,000.
Any discussion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to find the owners of 8818 Wabash Lane, $50 per day for lawn and landscaping that is in violation of Toxis covenants up to $5,000.
Discussion?
Maybe somebody got a clear photo.
I don't know.
No, it's pretty blurred.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at.
Barry, do you know this one?
It's just a matter of the yard has thin spots in it.
The yard has thin spots in it. It has excessive amount of weeds and needs chemicals and watering to make.
Any more discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to find the owners of 8521 Woodcrest Drive, $50 per day for lawn and landscaping that is in violation of Toxis covenants, up to $5,000.
We have a second?
I don't have it here.
That's out of order.
Look down where it says final notice for the address. You may have the owners
What was
of
that address again, please?
8521 Woodcrest Drive.
Second.
We have a second on this?
Yes, Barry, second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to find the owner of 11139 Sultry Drive, $50 per day for lawn and landscaping that is in violation of Toxis covenants up to $5,000.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I move to find the owner of 10934 Pepper Tree Lane $50 per day for lawn and landscaping that is in violation of Tox's covenants up to $5,000.
Any discussion? Donna?
Well, I was gonna see if there's a way they get.
Use your mic, Donna.
Are they not gonna do anything about cutting the bush back either that's there?
That's part of, that. If you read this maintenance is required, everything is explained under lawn and landscaping, that's just the general title. Maintenance is required for your yard and or landscaping, which could involve weed removal from the cracks, expansion, joint areas of your sidewalk, driveway, curbing, etc. So it's kind of explained there.
Yeah, but I cannot see any cracks. But the rest of the property is rough.
Any more discussion?
Also, if you look, the driveway needs cleaned. And something she didn't address right there was an air conditioner hanging out the side of the house.
Yeah.
Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I'm done.
All right. I lost my agenda.
Don't forget, we got, sure.
I set my agenda aside now. Okay, we have a board vacancy. A resignation letter, you want to read that?
We have a resignation letter that was turned in by Larry Oskowski, board member, to Timber Oaks board members, Timber Oaks HOA. John Atwell, you have been nothing short of a fine New Jersey guy. And also Darlene and Debbie, well, you guys are champions, all doing so much with so little fanfare. Thank you for all your help and support. To my fellow board members, you guys are surviving and thriving under very difficult circumstances. It was fun serving with you all. I don't know if I believe that part. The funny thing is, I am moving to a place that currently has a bulk spectrum contract. Isn't that the cat's meow? So I have to resign as I am bidding farewell to Timber Oaks, but not saying goodbye to the many friends I have made. Larry Oskowski. I'm. Yeah. I make a motion that we accept the resignation of Larry from Oskowski from the board.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. Insurance.
Hello. I was just wondering, are you going to replace Larry's position or just leave the board at the one less member
We're not going to replace him at this time,
at this time, but you're thinking about
this
it?
meeting. We'll
Okay,
decide that in the future.
okay, thank you.
Okay, insurance. The review of the umbrella policy.
Does somebody want to explain what an umbrella policy is?
In case it rains.
Yeah, in case of rain.
Go ahead, Rick.
All right, I kind of got saddled with this one earlier. Yeah, first of all, there's two policies here we're going to talk about today. But the first one that we chose, I guess they chose, is an umbrella policy. It limits the liabilities, 5 million. And the way we have this is if somehow something happens that we're liable to somebody in excess of what our other policies cover, then this comes into play. It's sort of a overall cover everything that's not, covered up to 5 million. And, those rats of attorneys like to raise things up, So, I recommend that we have it. I would just couldn't quite put my finger, there's the premium. Premium is $5,917.87, which quite frankly, for this institution is not bad. Let me get the guy that called me called Scam Likely off my phone. And I make a motion that it's an increase of $1,815. I make a motion that we accept the policy.
Any discussion?
I'll second it for discussion.
Discussion, Eileen?
Do we need this much for, you might know, Johnson, not here, is this the amount that we've had in the past?
Yes.
The 5 million? Yeah.
5 million?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the same amount.
All right.
Now, we could reduce those amounts. But the problem, of course, with insurance is they're betting you don't make a claim and you're betting you are, so. The amount of what that does is that just sets a umbrella over all the other policies, which are either 1 million to 3 million. And that moves them up to 5 million. I have issues with insurance companies. So.
I'm just wondering,
It's 100% handle.
do we really need this much? Do we
Yes.
need-
Yes.
Does anybody know what the maximum we've ever been sued for?
I have nothing close to this, but you want to take a chance on that? I don't know that I do. I mean, this is all a scam as far as I'm concerned, and it's like, okay, we take out an insurance policy, which we will be discussing, and then they raise that insurance policy every year, whether you put a claim in or not, or find a reason to drop you. And then what that doesn't cover, we pay them more money to cover. But I don't think we really have a choice here, and we can't be left with somebody suing us and owing them $5 million where are we coming up with that? I mean, we're financially secure, but we're not wealthy here.
Just like, for example, I think we've had about 4 people just to trip in the pool. And if they would have turned around and sued us, God forbid, where's that money going to come from? So I think keeping it.
Is this 5 million overall or per occurrence?
I think it increases per, yeah.
And this is an increase of $1,815 over last year.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, the other insurance issue. Rick, did you want to address that one too?
Want to or not? This is the building. I think I got my papers out of order on this too. front page. There's insurance on the building, property value coverage, clubhouse, $2,918,000. Contents, $154,000. Total insured, $3,072,000. $2,500 deductible. By the way, I kicked back a memo back to John and the office here, and they made a call. I said, what if we raise our deductible? 2,500 to 5,000 or something, you know, 'cause sometimes that makes a big difference. And they indicated, well, they couldn't get us the exact figure this quickly. But he said it made a very small difference. There's also an administrative problem going on here. What is it? Our insurance expires, what, the 22nd of this month. They've been working on it, and he's been having a hard time getting quotes, our agent. And they finally got this out to us. And I don't see we have that much. There's where's the figure? Well, I'm looking at it here. No premium is $41,817. Now, why we take note of that is that the expiring policy was $27,886. Sizable increase. What about $13,000 increase? But as I said, it's hard to even get quotes for some people now. I know people with their individual policies, the insurance companies are already wrapping into this, the losses they're taking down in the southern part of Florida. So I don't know I don't see where we have a choice. I mean, I'm going to have to vote for it myself, whether I like it or not. And I think I'm talking now instead of discussing. Go ahead.
Okay, one other comment is we tried to go with a cheaper carrier last year, and then they turned around and dropped us because of our kitchen and our wood shop. And so then we had to go back to Lloyd's of London. And that's why we're doing it now instead of, it was originally set up to happen July 1st. So it changed our year, basically.
Anyway, I move that we accept this policy and for the premium, which I quoted.
Second. Question?
I wanted everybody to know that our agent got quotes or attempted to get quotes from at least 10 insurance companies. This was the cheapest.
Okay, any more discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, RV gate, Barry.
All right, what I wanted to talk to you today about was the recreational vehicle lot. As you may or may not know, I have a fifth wheel trailer in there, so I have a personal interest in this, but not only do I have a personal interest in that particular lot, but somebody out here in the audience today or somebody out in the community today has a rather expensive vehicle in that lot. And yes, the first thing you might say is, well, don't you have insurance on it? Yes, I do. I have quite a bit of insurance on it, but that's immaterial. The last thing I want to do is go in there someday and somebody broke my window out and left it open for rain to destroy the inside of it. And then the insurance company wants to give me half of what it's worth. So I say that to say this: since 2021, we've spent over $4,000 on that gate system, and it still is not closing correctly. Every day I go by there, I see at least a 1 foot. I didn't measure it, but it's at least a 1 foot gap between the two gates. Now, how many of us can walk through that gap to get in that yard? Now, that's only half of the problem. The other half of the problem is we have fake cameras there that never have worked. So not only do we take a chance on somebody going in there and breaking into our travel trailer, but we also have no way of knowing who did it because we don't have cameras that work. So my proposal today would be, or motion today would be that we seek somebody to fix that gate correctly. The second part of that gate problem is it works half the time, it doesn't work half the time. But the other problem is it's bent and won't even close correctly. So my motion today would be that we seek somebody to fix that gate correctly. And if we have to put a new closing system in it, or I'm fine with going back to the old padlock. At least you could shut it and lock it. So, and fix the camera so you can actually see if somebody's in there rummaging through your trailer. So that would be my motion today.
Do we have a second? Any discussion? Eileen?
Would it, I'm just wondering, that gate cost like around 9,000 something to put that gate up there. Is the padlock workable, Gary?
Yeah,
Could you work
it's
it
funny
with
you
that
mention
gate?
that, Eileen, because I distinctly remember the day they took the padlock off and put the automatic opener on. That happened to be the day that I wanted to go camping for the weekend. The very first day that they put that on there, I couldn't even get my camper out of there because it was shut. And I tried to talk the guy in that was working on it into letting me take the chain off so I could open the gate and I had reservations. I was gonna lose money for not going camping. So I tried to talk the guy into letting me take the chain off so I could open the gate. He wouldn't let me do it. So I couldn't leave until they fixed that gate. The very first day that it was operational.
So the gate was, initially it was a problem. If I recall.
It's been a problem since the day, maybe not continually, off and on, since the day they put it in. I would say if we do not want to spend the money to fix that gate correctly, and I know we can fix it correctly, every industrial lot out there has automatic gates on them, so they can open and close them. So I know it can be done. It's whether we want to do it or not. And if we don't want to do it, that's fine. Let's put the padlock back on it so that we can at least secure that lot.
Mary?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My front door is almost right across the street from that gate. I see people many, many times trying to fit through that gate. And when the gate is open, people go in and out constantly that don't live here. I'm here 22 years, that gate has been a problem. It's time this community fixes it one way or the other. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And I agree with that.
Thank you, Mary. Go ahead.
Hi.
This has been, how long has this been going on? This is the first it's been brought to our attention. You know? Was it brought up
It's
before?
brought continually.
Which part of it?
Were other boards before this notified about?
Yes.
Yes,
And nothing's done?
yes.
Then I think we need to have John check into either putting the padlock back on, because if we're gonna spend more money for an electric gate that doesn't work, makes no sense. If the padlock works, what do you suggest, Barry? You're the one using it. Which would you rather see?
Well, naturally, I was tickled to death when they put the electronic gate on there because I pull up in my truck with the camper, which is taking up half of the road there. So it's nice to be able to push my button and then the gate opens and then I wait for a second and go on in. That's nice. And ideally, that would be the thing that would be great, is to find a solution to fix that gate correctly so it opens automatically. But if that's something that the board does not wish to put the money on or cannot put the money on right now, then I'm saying as the means of last resort, put the padlock back on.
That gate had been gone to electronic, as you say. Yeah, we've done that, I think, about 10 years ago, somewhere in there, 7, 8 years. It's not that old is what I'm saying. It's not like 40 years old. And Have we had a person, a representative who installs, come and look and see if it's repairable and what it would be? That would be my first step, I would think, to see if that
Audience, please.
that gate, when it was working, you said was good, if it'll keep working. And I think we need somebody, I know we had a problem at one point where we had somebody thought he knew all about this crap and went in there and finally would sort of temporarily fix it, but some hobnail way, and then it would stop. And we almost had to order the guy off the premises. So number one, when's the last time that we had, I don't even want to call them factory rep or a professional repair service look at the gate?
9/19/22.
I didn't ask you for your age.
9/19/22. And we spent $1,200 at that time to fix it, and it still doesn't show. And Rick, to address your statement you just made, I've kind of followed this gate, but like I said, naturally because I have an RV in there, but for other reasons, for everybody else that's in there, not just me. It was put on, when it was installed originally, it was put on a breaker in the RV lot. There's a breaker box in the RV lot. It was put on a breaker with the rest of the outlets in the RV lot. Now, guess what happens when somebody comes in there and tries to turn on their air conditioner in their RV so they can sit there in their RV and work on something? It trips the breaker for the gate. And then you have to call somebody out to fix the gate because it tripped the thing in the gate besides the breaker it tripped. So.
Is there a manual override on this gate?
Yes, it's called take the chain off of it.
So if you trip the breaker, you could be in there for a while?
Yes. Well, luckily if you have a little bit of common sense, you can go over there and look at it and figure out how to get out of it. And that means you take a nut off of the drive and drop the chain and then pull the gates open manually, but then that means you have to feed it all back through to get it to work again. So the answer is yes to that, but no.
Okay,
We live up by there, so we pass that every time we leave. That gate is broken, I'd say at least once a month. We're concerned because my husband has an expensive fishing kayak in there, which it's open this far. I could walk through it, so someone could invariably steal his fishing kayak. And if there's no cameras, we have no way of knowing who that is. So, put it back. I don't know anybody that has anything in there that's not capable of opening the gate, closing the gate, and locking it, if that's what has to be. But ever since, as he said, that they've installed this gate, we go by there and it's always broke. And the last time, I think it's been a few weeks, hasn't it, that it didn't close at all. And my husband keeps driving up to check on his kayak. Thank you.
To be exact, it was open for 2 months.
Yeah.
Did the cameras ever work? Well, and now everybody knows they don't work. Sorry. Gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
Yes.
My comment is, where would the money to repair that gate come from? Because all of us don't use the RV lot. So it should come from the RV lot. Okay. My name is Trish Holton. I want to know where the money to repair that gate comes from, because it shouldn't come from the general fund, since all of us do not use the RV lot. You charge rent for the people in the RV lot. It should come from that money.
That's a good question. I'm thankful you asked it because I was hoping somebody would.
Okay.
Good question. Where is that money going to come from? Where does the money come from for exercise equipment?
Everybody gets
sewing
to use the gym.
machines,
Everybody gets to use
computers.
the sewing machine, but everybody does not get to use the RV lot. I can't get a space in the RV lot. There's a 5-year waiting list.
But
So I should not have to pay for a gate that is of no benefit to me. There are other things that I would like to see done in here with the accountant and everybody's account.
You have to ask Rick that question. I don't know what the answer to that is.
Okay, you said it was a good question. I've got it. Somebody answer.
But that's not fair to say just because you don't use it.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. If only 5 people could use the gym, then they should be the only ones paying for it, but everybody can use the gym. So I see it coming out of the general fund. But I cannot get in the RV lot.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Excuse
Patty
me,
French
we have a-
Weislich, 13A06. Point of information receipts. The RV lot has a separate budget. And all their expenses come out of the RV lot budget, which is funded by the rent that they pay. It doesn't come out of general funds.
Dale Thompson, Hachita Drive.
Hold it, Dale.
What happened?
Donna has the floor.
One bad thing about putting a padlock on there, we had our boat and motor stored at the place off of La Madera inside of a gated thing with a padlock and all that. Somebody broke through there and stole my husband's motor right off his boat. So I don't think I would personally, if I had something in the RV lot, would trust just putting a padlock on it. I think I would recommend it.
Okay, thank you. Dale?
Just to comment on what Donna just said, my neighbor had his riding lawnmower stolen right out of the driveway. And it was in between the garage and his car. So you wouldn't have thought anybody could just go and take it, but they did. I just want to know, I have a drawer at home in my house. And it has the warranty and guarantee for anything that's in my house that I've ever bought. How do we spend $9,000 on something like a gate for an RV lot? And we've had trouble with it ever since, from what Barry's saying. We have no way of saying to them, we gave you $9,000 freaking dollars, come and fix this.
Thank you, Dale.
initially, when we put that in there and they spent 9,000 whatever for it, there was a problem with it. They came back and they had a problem fixing it, but eventually they got it fixed. I think a big issue is if it's broken and nobody's getting somebody out here to fix it, I imagine that the gate's gonna stay open if somebody doesn't come out to fix it. I mean, that's why it's open for a month or whatever, or it's still open now. I mean, who did they complain to, or don't they? They just leave it open.
Okay, we're just repeating ourselves now.
I'm asking Barry if they just.
Rick, just one quick little add, is the reason they put that type of gate in there versus the chain lock was that when the chain lock, you gotta stop and park your V out in the road and go and save time. Now that's gotta, when you're making a decision here, you gotta balance those two out.
Okay, so we have a motion from Barry to fix the gate, right?
Fix the gate.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Carried.
it was to fix the gate and the cameras. Just to clarify.
We'll let John look into that. Okay, Veterans Wall. Wait a minute. We have access contract. Review of our fob entry contract. Access. This is. Okay, we have two proposals maintaining our fob system. First one is from ADT with a monthly fee of $120. Second one is from Simple Access. And this involves changing the system, upgrading it. Whereas the one from ADT is just to maintain the current system. And this is a total of $8,171.69.
Can I say something?
Sure.
The reason that one is so much higher than the other is ADT currently has the one there. Board, or I should say myself, I'm not very happy with ADT. ADT, when we decided to open the pool, and the pool was open 24/7, we spoke to them about this because they did our night security. They monitored the cameras, and usually the board president was called if anything came up during the night. For a year and a half, we paid them without using those services, and they refused to give us a break or do anything for us. Now, all of a sudden, they still want to keep this business plus whatever else we can hand them. So we looked into more than just ADT, and the other one is Simple Access. Debbie, correct me if I'm wrong. Theirs is mainly because we will all have to get new fobs and a new system put in, is that correct? Yeah, I don't blame them for that. So it says on here, Simple Access annual cloud subscription per door, $120. Is that the gates that they would monitor? Gates and doors, that we have 8 of those?
It's a cloud-based program that stores all our data. So that
Okay.
anytime something goes down, it's still stored. Like if we lose power, Wi-Fi, it's still accessible.
We still have everything.
Everybody's fob and number.
My other question on this, because I'm not seeing it, or I don't know why, but anyway, what is their monthly fee? Do you know? Is it on here?
No, I don't know.
So we can't really compare monthly fees on this. All we have is ADTs for $120 a month. And the other one, grand total of $8,171.69 for them to come in and put everything in and start over with them. It's a lot of money. But
Take this total, this grand total of $8,171 divided by 12, that's $680.97.
But that's not the monthly fee. That's for installation of the new system. Right, yeah. But I don't see the cost for the monthly.
Why don't we table this?
So we have John. Can we do that?
We have more information.
I move we table.
Because we're up. It's up. It's time for us to do it. ADT is just right now, just continuing until we say we're doing it on a month-to-month basis instead of a contract.
Okay, we have a motion to
Second.
table. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Next, Veterans Wall. Is anyone prepared to talk on this? Donna?
When we did the vet stay setup before, we used to set all of our pictures and everything up on the board where we now have everything that's going on, all the events. But now that we have that wall designated for that, we really have nowhere. And we don't really have the petitions anymore to set up I think they've got the screens still down at the shed, the maintenance building, that we used to put draperies on and pin the pictures on there. But I think they're looking for something a little more stable so they could be up all the time.
I thought there was something Jerry's.
Jerry said, Jerry did do a letter. You want to?
Here it is. Trouble shuffling papers today.
The trouble having a single man as the president of the board and no wife to put everything together.
is a letter from Jerry Beers to the Tosca Board of Directors. We are getting ready to host the Veterans Day event this coming November 11th to honor our military veteran residents who have served our country. As a resident and veteran, I'm requesting the Tosca Board grant wall space in the clubhouse for a permanent display of our Timber Oaks veterans photo. Diane Walk and Darla Nolan would like to oversee the setup and display of the photo. We would have all photos created to be the same size and displayed properly. We would have a more detailed layout for board's review at the next meeting. Any discussion?
Well, then we can wait till the next meeting.
Yeah. We can discuss.
I think the
Any
only,
input? Eileen?
Mr. President, yeah, it seems that the only available space would be the wall where the library is. It could be used over there for this.
We have walls everywhere. We have walls in here.
Well, I'm just saying.
But I'm saying, I don't think we have to figure out where it's gonna go. If
Well,
we
I
even
think
want to
we-
consider it, I think
Well,
it's
you have to
amazing.
look at wall space too, unless you're gonna start using it here.
Do
You
we,
have
do
windows.
we want to consider this, is the first question.
I mean, we have in the past dedicated the other hallway and part of the other part to the people that paint. That's about the only wall space.
Why can't you put it right up there by the flag? That would be the perfect wall. Right by the American flag.
I don't, yeah, well, look what you got here. You got that wall. That's it.
You're gonna want people right up to it.
I think it's a great idea. I'd like to have them come back to us with an idea where they would want it to be and what it would look like. And then we could discuss and vote on it.
Okay, sounds good to me. Any other discussion?
I gotta say something real quick. Will we have another meeting before November 11th? Now that we're only having one meeting?
No.
No.
No, okay,
But
so
this doesn't really have anything to do with that. This is like a permanent display.
I misunderstood. I thought you were gonna decide. And I thought I heard you say that.
Okay. Any correspondence? We have a letter from Stan and Andrea Lucian. They want permission to rent their house to a couple that are 53 and 50.
Now, wait.
Because they are Ukrainian refugees from Ukraine. That's basically it. Any discussion? Eileen?
Well, I think we would be setting a bad precedent. I feel bad for them, but they're gonna have to try. I think they should try another Airbnb or perhaps over in Driftwood, maybe
Okay, a motion would be in order, I guess.
I make a motion that we deny the request for rental to anyone under 55.
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Any other correspondence? Okay. A motion would be in order to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Open forum. Anyone that wants to address the board, you have 3 minutes.
Hello. My name is Sharon Thomas. I live on Hachita Drive. And there's currently an issue going on in Monterey Village with, you can't hear me? I'm sorry. Okay, that better?
Yes.
All right, currently there's an issue in Monterey Village with regard to cyberbullying and deed restriction violations. We have a resident that has taken it upon themselves to take pictures of deed violations and posting them on a non-Timber Oaks webpage. It's a page, it's Ellie Malelli's webpage, open, residents open comments page. I didn't know that we hired this person to go around the neighborhood, taking pictures and posting on the internet, along with extremely abusive and aggressive comments that come down to being cyberbullying. I would like to have this stop. I wonder if we apparently don't use the green cards anymore. Is there an avenue for this person to report those violations without taking it upon themselves to disparage their neighbors, taking pictures and making horrible comments? We need to have a definite protocol for reporting those violations. And I'm not saying that any pictures that she posted on that webpage are not true. Yes, they may be taken out of context, and I'm not disputing that there were issues. But I don't think that we need to have a vigilante running through the neighborhood, taking pictures and beating everybody up online. And I would like to have you address that issue. And I don't know if you have any questions for me with regard to what's been going on.
I know what you're talking about. I actually replied to a couple of those and somehow they were taken down. And I agree with you. I don't think it's right, and it is cyberbullying. Unfortunately, that is a private site. And I don't think there's anything we can do about that. Although, in my opinion, don't answer it, don't pay any attention. Go off if you have to. Because what is being done is not right. And it's no one's business what is going on in the community. If you don't like it, say something to a board member and we will take it up from there. Whether a person is being fined or has a violation letter that goes out is none of your business. You don't know this, and it's none of your business. When we get to fining, when we get to the fining stage with these letters, you get the addresses. You do not get the names of people who are being violated. And that's the way it should stay. But to go on a public page and ridicule a person who has mental health issues and is unable, incapable of doing something, to me, is being non-humanitarian. Don't tell me you're being a help to this community. You are not.
Thank you.
Tanya Pinkley, Los Santos Drive. All right, Article 2, the association membership. Every person acquiring title to a lot in the development and recording his or her instrument of conveyance in the public records of Pasco County becomes therefore a member of the association and agrees by acceptance of the deed said to said property to abide by the rules and regulations of the association and pay such assessments as levied by the association's board of directors. Also, moving right along. Section 9, 5. Article G. Any member who witnesses a violation shall report such violations to the board of directors immediately and procedure document evidence of the violation through witness testimony or photographs for the board's consideration in levying fines against any member or owner. I emailed all this to the HOA and I received an email from John informing me, and I will quote, We are aware of this home. For future reference, we no longer have a policy where we accept complaints, the green card policy. There is no avenue for you to report issues with other properties. This is a board decision made earlier this year. So now tell me, what was I supposed to do but to publicly shame? Because y'all don't want to deal with all of the deed restriction violations in Monterey, especially on Hachita. And to have a resident come in here and say stuff about other residents when she blatantly parks her boat in the neighbor's yard for like 3 days. She parks her trailer there for the construction company from time to time and no one says anything. So what is this board gonna do to correct all the deed restriction violations in Monterey? Because cyberbullying and internet stuff is not the board's business, and Ellie's site is not yours either. So what do y'all plan on doing about the deed restriction violations you've been letting go? There's currently an Italian flag. As soon as the guy got back, he put his flag up. He knows there's no flags but the American flag. We've been through this, haven't we, Ed? So what is this board planning on doing? I'm sure everyone that wants their property values protected wants to know what this board is doing to prevent the rubbish and outside trash storage that's happening all down Hachita. Thank you for your time. Sorry I'm wasting it. This is my property value.
Dale Thompson and I live on the fabulous, popular Hachita Drive right now in Monterey Village. And let me just tell you, you all know, everyone up there, what I've been going through since I've lived here. I have a list in my pocket right now of all the letters and things that I've gotten. And yet I still see the unfairness going on. Do I think Tanya gets out of control? Yes, I do. But she's one of few people in here that really do pay attention to what's going on around the neighborhoods. And I mean, I don't want to get people mad at me. That's why I don't report all the stuff that I don't like. There's one particular house in here that I fought so hard for over having a jungle in the backyard that I even kept one person from buying that house when it was for sale. Because I told him we were fighting to get the jungle taken down, and he said to me, well, that's why we're buying it. We like that. It keeps out the noise and the traffic. Somebody else moved in. I love these people. They're as sweet as can be. They don't bother anybody. But the freaking jungle is still there. Trust me, if that jungle was in my backyard, this would have made me cut it down long ago. Some of the mailboxes, since this has all been going on with Tanya the last week or two, I've actually rode around and I've looked at some of the disgraceful, even mailboxes. I don't have a lot of money, but when my mailbox was knocked over, me and my neighbor put up a new mailbox. I was told I had to get a special cover for my car when I had a problem and I had to cover it for a while. I was told that I had to get rid of a tire that wasn't a tire, it was painted pink. And if you go on Pinterest, people make ornaments out of them for the yard all the time. I was protecting one little plant. Then I got pissed off when I found out people were complaining behind my back about it, and I went and got more. If I could have, I would have put them all over my whole yard. Because I don't fight with people, I don't make trouble with anybody, but now I am to the point where I am moving out, and I'm sure a lot of people are happy. But if these people aren't happy living in a deed restricted area and they don't want to keep up with the rules and regulations of an HOA, they should be moving out, not the ones that want to keep up with it. Oh, and by the way, I love Jerry and I love Kathy, but LeMay and Ed, you're my friends. You may not be after today, but you told me I had to put deed restricted. My realtor is sitting right there in the pink. I had to put deed restricted 55 and older community on my sign. Does Kathy have one at her house? No, I just went and checked after somebody told me. Why is Kathy better than me? Because she works in the kitchen and helps out a lot.
I will say one thing, and this goes right back to what I said before. Whether or not letters have gone out are none of your business. It is not your business. Do you think we sent you a letter and no one else?
No, but no.
And why do we come in here and complain about our neighbors and our HOAs and what isn't enforced when this is your community and these are your neighbors. You know how many violations are sent out every month. You know it. We put it on there.
It is recorded. Ellen Lilly, I'm just wondering if this board would reconsider bringing back the green cards, because right now, most people cannot really vent without feeling it's not worth speaking up as they're speaking now, because you're defending yourself, and at least by them speaking up. I do know that reading the delinquencies on the reports, they have gone up, which means letters are going up. So I do see that happening. And I try to say that on there, that indeed it takes weeks before, but many people say, well, I don't want to say anything. But if you reinstate the green cards without a signature required on there, at least you would know what Tanya has done on her own, because neighbors are afraid to speak about their other neighbors. Because I don't like to report anything myself in terms of a deed restriction. But I really think you ought to talk about, it was brought up, maybe there should be a form, if not the green card, a form where somebody could just write it on there without signing their name, just so the board is aware of these infractions that you could give to our part-time employee that drives around. And it is amazing, that doesn't she see these things that Tanya has mentioned on there? And again, I know the Monterey group spoke to me and they were very angry about it because I don't live in Monterey. And truthfully, I don't drive through the communities. But I think when you voted to get rid of the green card, which has been here since day one, that you ought to reconsider that so people do have somewhere to vent.
Thank you. Let me just make one comment. The process is, the letter goes out. They have 2 weeks. Then a second letter goes out. They have another 2 weeks. Then a final notice goes out. Then they have another 2 weeks before it goes to fining. Then it goes to fining. And then the fining, it goes before the fining committee. So, you know, you might think somebody didn't get a letter, but they probably did. It's just in the process.
We talked about that on Facebook.
I
did explain.
Paula, sit down, Ellie. Paula, Monterey.
You know, somebody might put their boat in the driveway to load it up or something. It might be there for an hour. It might be there for 2 hours. You got somebody taking a picture and call them out, and they're calling them out of POS, pieces of shit, okay? We have somebody that works for us, correct? She drives around, she makes notes, she goes back to you guys. If they want to bring the Greenville cards back, that's nice, but somebody's doing something about it, like you said, Ed, it takes time. This person here that I live near is out there every day. You know, it's just continuous, you know? Freaking move if you don't like it.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that I kind of miss the green cards because there's some things that happen that aren't visible. We have someone in our neighborhood that every time they have company, they're parking on the grass or they're pulling up and blocking the sidewalk. So what do? You know, if we don't have the green card and the lady isn't driving by, they're not going to see issues like that. And I literally hate people parking on the grass.
You can call the county. They
And
take
so
care
do
of
we,
parking.
but even if
it's-
there's a green card, you know, then it comes in, and like I explained.
Right,
the
then they would
goes
get a
out,
letter.
And then they've got 2 weeks, and then another 2 weeks.
Well,
and
no,
so then when the lady goes by, they're not parking on the grass, so then it goes out.
But in that case, wouldn't you be sending a letter that says, in Timber Oaks, you're not allowed to park on the grass, please resolve the issue? And then they know when their company comes, they go out and tell them you can't park on the grass.
And why would they not park on the grass? What are we doing? What can we do?
They can park on the street while they're visiting.
No, I
They're
know
not supposed to
that,
be in
but
the
I'm
street.
saying, there's enough, they don't care. We can send them a letter and say, when you have company, they can't park on the grass. But there's nothing we can do about it legally.
No, but I mean, it's a way of letting, new people in the neighborhood don't always know the rules of that.
There is a
And
full,
I don't see calling the county for within Timber Oaks.
there is
You
a
know.
full book with all the rules. There's an orientation that is done. And I know I'm as guilty as the next person. I didn't read them when I moved in.
Right.
You know, no one does. So that kind of thing becomes just,
Well, I just
We're
thought for
powerless
something
in that.
small like that,
yeah.
it lets the people know the rules rather, because someone isn't driving by to see them.
Well, and that's the other problem with the woman that goes around. You know, we sit and we look at all the letters, and so there's a boat in the driveway. And we're looking at it and saying, oh, okay, were they taking it out that day? Or, so
Well, and that,
there's so many
yes,
things that are hard to follow. Now, we know if it's hooked to a car, they're probably going somewhere with it. They're not just gonna leave it, but there's so many things that, I mean, if you wanted to, you could drive around anytime and
exactly.
find violations. This is your community. You
Whoever.
don't need to treat your neighbors like that. And Tanya read the rules, report it to one of the board members. Do you know how many times things have come in? Ed and I have gone out and checked them out. And a lot of people will tell us, I just went by and it's terrible, this and that, and we will go check it out. And letters will go out.
Right, I just didn't know who you would notify if someone's always parking on the grass. I mean, I understand they have that in the family side, but the senior community usually were a little
I don't think
more.
it's allowed in the family side either. It's a difficult. The other problem we have is if the woman goes around, which she normally does, a certain day every week, everyone knows that. So if you want to store something somewhere, just move it that day when she's going around, So luckily, this woman does move around different days.
Well, we have our boat in the driveway when we're working on it. Are you not allowed to have
That's
that?
not allowed.
Yes, you are. And then what
thought
happens,
so.
she drives by and sees that boat sitting in your driveway. You're not allowed to do that. But you are. But a lot of times we'll see that and we'll send the letter out anyway, because that's an easy fix. You call the office and you tell them, we were working on the boat. It's normally not there. It's done. So just
Yeah.
because you get a letter, don't think, oh, they're looking at me. We're not. Just answer it.
Okay, thank you.
Karen?
Hi, Karen Fridge. I was just, I don't have the documents memorized. And so I was listening to Tanya, and if what she said about that we have an obligation to report when we see violations, and we don't have a vehicle for that because we've gotten rid of the green cards. And then John sent, and if this is true, that John sent her an email saying she had no vehicle, that he didn't take care, the office didn't take care of it, and the board members didn't take care of it, then we have a problem. So in that respect, she made a good point. And so I think it would be beneficial for the board to think about that, think about a vehicle, think about how we as residents could respectfully turn in violations that we would see. And I think somebody else mentioned that then maybe they do get turned over to our part-time employee to check out, that kind of thing. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I got,
Dave?
I got let it on this one, because I have a camper, so, and I know that, I think it's 24 or 48 hours you're allowed to pull in front of your place and load up, unload. And I couldn't do it in mine, because I live in a cul-de-sac, and some way to turn around, but anyway, I know there's some kind of a rule where you can do that with the boat, like she was saying. It's in there somewhere where you can leave it for, I think, 24 or 48 hours while you're loading, unloading, and working on your camper, your vehicle. And most of the people, we live in a nice community. Most people take good care of this place. I'm proud to live here. I really am. And I'm proud of all the board members and all the people that live here because, I think we keep a nice place. And I think it's a great place to live.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marie Grasso and I live on Hachita Drive. I've been here 16 years and I love this neighborhood. It's been wonderful. We've had a good time. We've had wonderful neighbors. Everyone helps each other and that's been fine up until just a couple of years ago. And the problem, as you just heard, was just speaking to you. What I'm saying is, why can't we just have the cards or whatever to take care of, what you call it, talking about problems. Not putting our pictures of our homes on Facebook. It's uncalled for. It's embarrassing and it's not proper. And to do that to all of us neighbors, that's what's been happening. Our neighborhood has become a combat zone because of it. And it's not right because the rest of us love each other and get along well, and we have a good neighborhood. And having our pictures put on Facebook is uncalled for. And that's what we're all upset about, having our pictures put all over the place. That's all I have to say.
Some people make, some of those homes over there are a real mess and they need to clean up. And it makes the people that look really nice, like your property, look bad.
Well, the more I hear, the more frustrated I get. First of all, I want to make it clear that if everybody goes back to when Tanya first moved in here, Tanya didn't cause trouble. This whole thing started over the freaking Trump flag years ago. And some of the people that are against her now are right in there like this. You couldn't say a word against her because they were all for Trump. Now, after certain friends leave you when you don't agree with them, shit happens. I'm sorry, but I speak the truth. And this all came about. We had people storming out of here during board meetings when it was a different board. I myself think this is the best board we've ever had. But I have people saying to me all the time, which people come to me, and COVID had a lot to do with this. We have had only one meeting, and whoever said I give myself too much credit, just go pound salt up your butt. We used to have 2 board meetings, now we have 1. We used to be told at the meeting what people were being cited for and things like that. They did away with that. We used to have coffee and pastry at the morning meetings. We lost that. It seems like instead of things getting better, things are getting taken away. This is what people come to me with, just in general conversation, that don't get into this other stuff. But did somebody just say, shut up? Your husband, LeMay. He's being a buster. Oh, I just want to say one thing. This is driving me crazy because I just stood here and I try to get along with my neighbors, especially Marie Grasso. We grew up in the same gosh darn neighborhood. But for her to sit there and say what she just said, knowing that she don't cyberbully, she don't say nothing bad on the internet. She goes into the pool and complains about my tire to 2 separate board members. We all get along good? We all get along good? Marie? Why didn't you talk to me?
Be nice.
Across the street. All over a lousy tire, I had to deal with this crap. Then trying to help my neighbor next door, I got in trouble for that. These people don't love each other. They go to church on Sunday and they walk out of church and they're miserable human beings.
All right. Take it outside.
This is why green cards were eliminated.
I am just going to address the green cards again.
You've already had your 3 minutes.
Listen, Dale got up twice, I can get up twice. You always throw me off, okay? Wouldn't the rest of the board
Meeting
members?
adjourned.
Oh.